Hello, Wits and Weights family. This is a quick bonus episode for the weekend. I recently started posting more content on my Instagram account, @Wits and Weights. If you'd like to see that, give it a follow. I've been pretty inactive there other than posting podcast updates, but I'm starting to post more of those little thoughts that I have throughout the week that I think are really important and at the crux of, losing fat, building muscle, building sustainable system for the results that you're looking for. And I wanted to share a couple of those real quick today to tie into some text posts that I put up there that I think are two of the most important aspects. If you can remember these, if you can think about these principles, they're going to go a long way to deciding if what you're doing makes sense right now. The first one is, if your diet works only when your life is perfect, it doesn't work. And this is the most important of all when it comes to sustainability, in that your plan, your system should be designed for the worst case. You should think of all of the surprises and roadblocks and challenges that you know you're going to face. You may not know the specifics, but you know your friend's going to ask you out to eat on Friday night. You know you're going to have to go to that birthday party where there's cake, right? You know that you're going to travel and go on vacations and business travel, and there are social events, and the list goes on. And so knowing all that, if you got out a piece of paper right now and said, over the next 3 months, what are the most likely things that are going to happen that mess up my life a little bit? And I say mess up in just the sense that life's never perfect. And that was the whole point of this post. And I hear sometimes from at least newer clients like, oh, all this stuff happened this week, but I'm going to be back in my routine next week. Things are going to settle down. I will get back on track. Well, that's kind of the opposite approach that we want. We want to be able to be quote unquote on track when life is at its messiest, so that when it's actually routine, consistency is automatic, right? So that was one of the posts. The other post is you might need to eat more food, not necessarily more calories. And this kind of hits on that whole phrase that people misuse where they say, you can eat more to lose weight, or some people are under eating and need to eat more and, increase their metabolism. I think some people take that to heart in the wrong way, where they just think, okay, I'm just going to eat more and that's going to somehow, speed everything up and I'm going to lose weight. It doesn't work that way. Energy balance and calories in, calories out still matter. But what most people aren't doing is they're not eating enough food volume, enough food to fill up their stomach, but keep the calories the same. And this is nutrient density. This is calorie dense foods versus nutrient dense foods. We're talking about, high fiber foods, fruits and vegetables, whole grains, things that satisfy you, potatoes, lean meats, basically mostly whole foods are going to do it. Now, there are some whole foods that are calorie dense, like nuts, right? So there are some differences, but take for example, 400 calories of fries, how quickly you can scarf that down and it's not super satisfying, versus 400 calories of, let's say, fish, vegetables, and potatoes on a plate. I mean, my wife's a great cook, and she cooks pretty lean, not, kind of just by accident. And she'll serve me a dinner for the family, and it'll be this delicious full plate of vegetables and mahi-mahi and potatoes. And I go ahead and log it, and it's like 390 calories. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like this huge plate of food. And it just reminds me every time I see that, how you can easily nudge your diet in the direction of volume and eating more and putting it in your stomach, but without the calories. So I think those are two important concepts. The first being, your plan should be sustainable enough to work even when life is at its messiest. And the second being, if you can increase the volume of food in your diet, it's going to make it a lot easier to lose fat, to manage your calories, and to feel satisfied. So those are just the first two of many to come. I actually have a whole bunch of really pithy but very important principles queued up for my Instagram. Go give me a follow there so you can see those. It's @Wits and Weights. And that's it for the weekend. Take those to heart. Reach out, send me a DM, and let me know which of these resonate and what you're going to do about it. How are you going to implement the information? And I will see you tomorrow for our next full episode. Talk to you then.